welcome to the first podcast of 2023. We're trying to start off at Texsource or sponsored by Texsource, whatever we're calling it. We still need to find a name for this podcast. So first off, I want to introduce Mike Coy. He's now joined Texsource. We'll jump into him and what all he's doing and why he's looking to switch roles and everything. Well, most people kind of know screen printer Mike Coy. But anyways, we'll jump in that in a second. But this is our first podcast of 2023 with Texsource.
Yeah.
We still need to find a name, so it's
a daunting task. It's worse than coming up with ideas for the podcast.
Even a child's name. I just had a child, and it was pretty easy to pick that name.
Well,
I didn't do it.
You just let your wife do it?
Yeah.
Did you nix any names?
She sent me a list of about 30.
30?
I took it down to 10. She took it down to a few more, and then I let her pick the remainder.
Yeah, so
it's 30 of first name, then you got 30 middle names. So it's a crap ton of names.
Yeah, and then the name's got to have a nice flow to it, right?
Anyways, this is much harder than naming a child.
Yeah, we need your help out there. Somebody please help us.
So what's some of the names you've thought of so far?
Well, the shirt show, just because it's kind of a shit show, so why not call it the shirt show?
Shirt show. We've had, what else is there? We got print. We just got to tag printing somehow in this thing.
It could be something like the T-shirt experience or the T-shirt chronicles or everything T-shirts, something. And then we have the Between the Ferns.
Between the Ferns, yeah. So you've been told you look like Zach Galifianakis. Is that
yeah,
so? We got the couch behind us. We got all that stuff going on. So we do need a fern and be where the between two ferns. I get it wrong each time.
Yeah, it's you've got the where the red ferns grow. That had a terrible that hurt you. You know that was a very sad story.
Speaking of couches, you could also be like 2 screens, 1 squeegee, two inks, 1. Catch my drift.
Yeah. This is why this is such a difficult thing.
There's also other podcasts out there. Emulsion Guru. Well, he don't have a podcast, but he does. He's from Chromaline, I think. He does
the Emulsion Guru. Huh? That's got to be the most boring thing I've ever. I mean, I know we'll talk emulsion, but geez, if you were like
Emulsion Guru.
Oh Lord.
And there's not much to be a guru on with emulsion. You can only go so far.
Yeah. I could be like the boiling water guru and probably come up with better material. If that's working for him, though, I mean, somebody's got to be the emulsion guru.
It's all right. Anyways, still a working title for the podcast. But let's introduce you, Mike Coy. Kind of explain your background, where you've come from. I mean, a lot of people on the podcast kind of know you from Screen Printer Mike, so you got a little bit of a tale to tell right quick.
Yeah, and I'll try to condense this down so it doesn't run into Miller time here on a beautiful Friday afternoon.
It is margarita time. Margaret, I'm already. What is it? What's Jimmy Buffett say? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, I thought isn't that like some country?
No, it's Jimmy Buffett.
It's a country song though, right?
It's Jimmy Buffett.
So me, so I've been in this industry a long time. I'm in my mid 50s. Let's just say it, that way. I know I look a lot younger, but that's just clean living. But the truth is when I was in high school, my buddies were screen printing for some dude, some bootleg T-shirts, and I saw that and immediately got hooked and have been in this industry ever since. So starting out, I mean, it's a cool thing, and I think people that are in this industry, if you have the passion, you just can't get away from it, no matter what. It just sort of
sucks you in.
Yeah, and it's in your blood. And you can go away and like say, "Oh, I'm going to go do art or something like that," but sooner or later you get sucked back into the industry. So I followed that path, And it eventually led me to bigger and bigger opportunities. So at one point, I was working in the R&D department for Adidas, and then got a management level job. The director of embellishment of Delta, which Delta Apparel there in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which
Delta was a part of Adidas?
no, Delta, that was after I left Adidas.
Okay.
And a small stint with Badger up in Statesville. So I've been in the Carolinas, though, for the last few years, probably the last 10 years.
Where was Adidas at?
Their printing plant was up in Indianapolis. And there's one in South Carolina, but it's just kind of a warehouse. But
Passed by that on 85.
yeah, exactly. So when I tell people I worked at Adidas, they thought that I was, shipping shoes out or something. And I'm like, no, Adidas has several, places. And eventually made a home in South Carolina running kind of a mid-size, 6 auto shop, all-American t-shirt company. And it was within that last 5 or 6 years, I started thinking like, hey, what am I going to do towards the last, 10, 15 years of my career? And I wanted to get back on the vendor side and somewhere where I could be useful in teaching and mentoring a new generation of people getting into this business.
You used to do the supply side. I was with Atlas, I think.
Yeah, that was like really like I was like a teenager. I was like 19 years old, and Atlas had bought this company out that my friends owned, and they just swallowed us whole. We were making dryers for them, and they just came down from Chicago and said, "Hey, we're buying you out." My friends looked at each other like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Well, we know if we stop buying from you, you will collapse." So yeah, I got a taste of that vendor side back in the 80s, which those were the days of the trade shows where things were
Fun.
Yeah, they were fun. But
Trade shows were always fun back in the day.
yeah, but it was also like it was a mess of just people getting, out of control. The parties, the vendor parties.
Yeah.
And it was... it was a different time. It's probably good that that I survived all that.
Trade shows nowadays are just a complete bust, waste of time.
Well, I think the Long Beach show.
Well, yeah.
If you go to one, go to the Long Beach show. But these days, if you're going to buy equipment, you go, drive to a distributor.
Yeah.
If you want to see hands-on stuff. But the internet has changed everything, and it's just not worth the money of going there and setting up. Whereas back in the 80s, these trade shows would take a whole convention center. I mean, it would take a couple of days just to go through all of it. And now I go in and they've combined everything.
4 or 5 aisles at least. I mean, back in the day, it's probably 50, 60 aisles.
Yeah, it was. It was in.
You would probably have shopping carts back then, just for all the customers carrying all their free crap out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's what you would do is you would go around and you would see how many T-shirts you could get out of the whole deal. But so the industry's changed as a whole big time.
So you go from screen printing a long time ago to a little bit of the sales to well-known companies, Adidas. Delta, All-American, Badger, another major one, all reputable companies where you've built the knowledge that you've gained, which has been very good.
Yeah, and mostly the bigger companies, what that helps you do is like working for a company like Adidas. When I went back down to a smaller company like All-American, the privately owned company, I sort of used the stuff we were doing at Adidas at that level, like giving people a higher level of service. And then that's what I preach and teach people, as screen printer Mike, is that the value added services.
Taking it one extra step, you had 6 autos at All-American, take that T-shirt that you just sent to the dryer with a simple weight color and added foil prints to it, or you might have heat press it afterwards just to give a more smooth feel. Just that value added.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and also on the back end of that is finding customers that need it packaged, labeled, bagged, tagged, and you have to find the right customer. If somebody's retailing, it makes sense if they get a bagged up shirt ready to sell and to sit cleanly on their shelf instead of just dropping a box of 100 shirts, printers fold on their doorstep. So there's opportunity there, and I think that's what led to getting the most out of our customers was having those extra services. And like I said, that's why I teach and preach that to people now, is to bring your skills up to a high level.
And so that's kind of why you've transitioned over to back to the vendor side and with Texsource is to want to teach again. I mean, Screen Printer Mike, it's a pretty big platform where you teach a lot of people artwork and that sort of thing. So now you're with Texsource and looking to teach more and bring all the knowledge that you've gained here with us.
Yeah, it seemed like a perfect fit. You know, we had been talking for months. You know, like I'd come in 2 or 3 times, and we sat down, and really that was just, you know, like, hey, is this going to work? Are you buying what I'm selling? Like, hey, I want to come work for you guys. Yep. And, you know, that's the way to do it if you're going to make a transition, is to, you know, do it right where everybody feels like, yeah, this is a good move and you're a good fit here. So I had a good feeling from, you know, for the last several months before I actually, you know, came in here, because you were one of our vendors. So it makes it kind of easy to say, like, yeah, I like the way these guys run their company, and they have the same sort of, not just philosophy, but, you know, you've said it before about how, you know, you guys can handle the little guy, the guy just starting out.
Yep.
But you can also handle the bigger companies, you know, because, you know, there's some big customers here that are getting, you know, big, placing huge orders.
Yeah, and there's a lot of small guys out there that some of the well-named vendors out there, for instance, NASDAR. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that kind of avoid the smaller guys.
Yeah, and I sort of frowned upon that. Like at All American, I didn't really need their advice on how to do stuff. I never called them up and say, like, hey, how does this ink work, or any of that, because I kind of had that covered. But it was just the very idea that some of the other companies aforementioned, there's this tendency to just sell and run. Yeah. And so there's no opportunity for growth for the small guy. And I you know, that's kind of what makes our competition and the industry and new people coming into it. I always welcome that. Even in my town, I would help other guys.
The only way they get into it is they see it online. I mean, they watch YouTube videos, they see podcasts, Pinterest showing you DIY, all this do-it-yourself motto.
Yeah,
is how a lot of these new people are coming in, and then they tap onto the podcast, tap onto the YouTube, tap onto certain websites and watch product videos. So that's kind of where Texsource was catered to in the past with videos, but now we're wanting to step up, add a little more to it with podcast, extended classes with you, with artwork. So it's going to be a good transition.
Yeah, because the industry has changed because of the digital technology, where the smaller, you know, the old joke in the screen printing world is a guy comes in and says, you know, I want this, you know, 5-color T-shirt. Well, how many do you need? I just need 5. Well, you just chase him out the door. So today's technology, you know, a guy can do that for you, that smaller quantity stuff. And so we have a whole new generation of people that are in this business, and some of them are going to grow and go into larger volume, where some are going to stay where they're doing that low quantity but full color stuff. So there's room for everybody in this industry for sure. And it's good be able to, like I said, to kind of help those people that are transitioning from, I've got a Cricut and I'm
Oh Lord.
and going up to, Grandma's got a Cricut. She's made us all Christmas gifts.
She's got a Cricut and the old-timey sewing machine with the foot pedal.
Yeah, exactly.
With the cash hidden underneath.
Yeah.
The spindle.
Yeah, but
yeah, so introduce a new art class. We have a new class we're introducing here that you'll be teaching. It's a artwork. It's strictly art. We'll throw a little bit of a screen printing in on the last day. It's 3 days. If you want to explain a little bit about that, but I know, again, with Screen Printer Mike, your page is pretty big on artwork and your knowledge in art design.
yeah, and some of the platforms that I'm on, like TikTok, for example, where you're trying to do a 30-second video, I can show people stuff, but they don't get the full, how did you really do that type of thing. And so this class is going
Just
to be
enough to piss you off.
Yeah, just enough to make you ask more questions.
True.
You're like, how the hell did you do that? So it's all, kind of for show, whereas this class is, you're going to be able to sit down and do these exercises that I've made, like a teacher making a lesson plan. And I designed them to sort of cover all the basics that you need to know if you're sitting in the chair as the production artist of a screen printing company. Because if you went to college and you got graphic design, that's all cool. But you sit in a screen printing, you don't know how to get those separations to a press.
Yeah.
And
same as accounting. You take accounting in college, it does not translate at all.
Yeah.
In the real world. Real world is a whole lot easier than accounting in college.
Yeah.
And I cheated in accounting in college and
Yeah.
got caught, but
Got caught.
Yeah.
So what is accounting? See, I just learned something about you. So you're the numbers guy then, right?
definitely numbers for sure. But no, I mean, I don't do all the counting. It's split with a couple different people, but you're talking about graphic design in school translating to real world does not translate.
Yeah.
So I was just making a general comment about
Yeah.
accounting and then me cheating in accounting in college.
Well, there's no cheating on the art.
They didn't kick me out, so it's okay.
On the art side. Well, now all you have to do is type in, your thing into Chat GPT, and you can get your essay written or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I certainly understand. But that, that's been another cliche in our industry where someone comes into our company and is like, "Hey, I just got 2-year graphic design degree. I want to come work for your company." And you say, "Do you know the difference between a spot color and a CMYK or an RGB and a CMYK?" A lot of times they're like, "No, but I can draw like horses really well."
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it's that class will help anybody dictate between what you're just saying with the RGB versus CMYK.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of false stuff out there.
Yeah, you're going to learn how to get stuff to the press, and that's your most important job. And certainly I'll delve into the dynamics of if you're a person sitting doing that job, what responsibilities. Hopefully the people coming to the class, they're going to want to be good at their job, and they want that's what you want in any employee, is someone to take it to the next level. And I'm here to show you the doors to get to the next level.
And not only just with classes, videos, product videos. I do the videos as well. Dwayne has done videos for Texsource.
Yeah.
He'll be another added person who's going to help with videos. So it'll be a good tag team with product overviews and just new tips and tricks out in the world of screen printing that we're going to offer as well.
Yeah,
So,
and the new technologies that are coming out that, constantly as things evolve, news and, hopefully, like I said, one of my ideas for the podcast is us just to talk about like cool T-shirts that we've seen or just the stuff out there that's interesting. So, we
direct to film, direct to garments. There's unlimited stuff that we can talk about when screen printing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, so first podcast, still working on a name. Not sure what we're going to come up with yet.
Yeah.
Side note, cheated in accounting, but I still got a degree in chemistry. So it's just want to let the podcasters know that just in case.
Yeah, I respect the chemistry.
So
I do.
Had to throw that out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to look stupid.
Yeah.
Or too stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on, the nature of the cheating. You're like, I don't want to study for the test, and, I have it.
Should just came natural when it didn't. So whatever, I'm going to cheat.
Yeah. As long as you walk the aisle, it's good.
Here's a motto. When in doubt, look about. Always, it's better to cheat than repeat.
Okay. I like that. I can't throw any mottos on you.
Maybe some podcast mottos with some titles.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, first podcast. We'll keep doing some more. They'll get better. It's our first one. If anybody out there who's watching or listening, eventually throw some ideas to us. We'll get it down pat. Tons of videos, tons of classes. Yeah. Welcoming Mike Coley to Texsource brings a lot of stuff, a lot of added value, as Jay DeMarco thinks or would like to say.
Yeah. Shout out to DeMarco.
But it's gonna be good. So glad to have you, and we'll see us next time on the podcast.
Y'all, you guys are stuck with me. I mean, that's I'm probably gonna die in this building at some point.
You got everything you need. Couch, fridge.
I do.
On RVs with some beds.
Yeah, except I may have
shower.
I may have to sleep on the love seat if Alan's up here. We'll be like the odd couple up here.
There's a big 30 by 30 TV down there, so you'll be good.
Yeah. Perfect.
But yeah, we'll figure out a title soon. More podcasts to come.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye.